If you've never thought of using a deep fryer at home, think again. This Breville deep fryer is so compact and turns out delicious food. Before I show you how it works, let's take a look at some of the components. This lid offers a nice viewing window so you can see your food fry. It also has a built-in mesh vent. The lid lifts off easily, and we can access our fry basket with variable heights. One of the great features is that you can hold the basket at the highest setting with your food out of the oil and still have the lid on. A good safety feature, that way you don't have to deal with splatters as you're taking the food out of the oil. Lid off, basket out, now we get to the heating element. It may look a little different. This heating element is nice and flat and sits at the bottom of my oil vessel, requiring less oil to fry. Also, this heating element heats up our oil consistently without any risk of burning it. This oil vessel lifts easily out of the housing, and you'll notice it has a spout on this end, so I can easily dispose of my oil after I've used it and it's cooled. This will also go into the dishwasher, a really nice feature. The housing, the lid, and the basket can go into your sink, and the heating element should be wiped down with a damp cloth. So vessel back inside, then the heating element. This fryer comes with a lot of great built-in safety features. For starters, we've got a magnetic release power cord, so there's no risk of someone tripping over the cord and pulling down the entire deep fryer from the countertop. Also, we have a variable temperature control all the way from low up to 375 degrees. So the machine knows when to turn itself off if the temperature of the oil exceeds the maximum. Put our basket back in and our lid on, and I can't wait to show you some of my favorite foods that I like to cook in my deep fryer. Potatoes are a classic ingredient for frying, whether in the form of French fries or, like today, chips. I've got russet potato chips and sweet potato chips. Both are going to be so delicious and so easy to make at home. I've preheated my oil, so let's get a batch in the fryer. Take the lid off. This fryer has a 2.2 pound capacity, but I don't want to overload the basket. You want to give the vegetables room to move around in there, and you also don't want the temperature to drop dramatically. And that's the great thing about using a fryer versus a pan, is that the machine will regulate the temperature for you. So my chips are in. I'm now going to lower the basket. And I could do this with the lid on, but I want you to be able to see the potatoes in the oil. You do want to keep a careful eye on them. It's not going to take long for them to fry up and get brown. I'll put the lid on now to prevent any splatters. I've been keeping a close eye on my chips, and they're just about finished. I'm going to pull them out of the oil and let them drain for just about 10 seconds in this highest position. I think I can take the lid off now so you can have a look. Beautiful. Golden brown, crispy looking. I'm going to drain them on a rack lined with paper towel, just so they can cool down and any extra oil can drain off. And while they're still hot, I am going to give them a nice dusting of sea salt. Great, let's move on to our second batch. Here's another great use for your deep fryer, making a batch of homemade chicken wings. You can keep these in the freezer and then whip them out if you're having an impromptu party or it's game day. I've preheated my oil to the maximum temperature, 375 degrees, and I'll probably fry up about half of what you see here at a time. Again, we don't want to overcrowd this basket. Yum. And just think of all the fun party appetizers and dishes you can make in your deep fryer. Spring rolls, fried calamari. All right, chicken's on the rack, the basket. Let's lower it into the oil. I'm going to keep an eye on these. They'll cook for about 8 to 10 minutes. When they're golden brown, we'll take them out. It's been about 10 minutes and my wings are finished. Before I take them completely out of the fryer, I'm going to lift them above the oil so they can drain for about 10 seconds. I've already made my sauce too. I can't wait to enjoy these with some nice buffalo wing sauce. Delicious. Okay, let's take off that lid. Beautiful. Look at that great golden brown color I got on my wings. Do a final shake. And I'm going to transfer these over to the paper towel. So crispy. Can you hear that? Oh, delicious. Let's work on that second and final batch of wings. A few more pieces. And here's a good tip. It's worthwhile taking care of your oil so you can use it over and over. Once the oil is completely cooled, you can strain out any of the debris left behind from your food, and you can actually use it time and time again, just stored in a cool place. And I hope you've seen how easy to use the Breville deep fryer is and how easily it fit into your life. Have fun experimenting with your favorite fried foods.